Alrighty guys, we're back for some mono black zombies, and this is a Dominaria United Standard brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Redcat and I play aggro decks and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to you guys. I did try to lean this one closer to the aggro side of things, but when I put it up on Aether Hub, I'll probably tag it as aggro slash mid-range. Okay, what do we got in the deck? We got 4 Champion of the Perished, naturally a 1-drop, 1/1 zombie. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of the Perished. So it can easily outpace cards like Cut Down or Meathook Massacre, cards that care about its toughness, but then it does eventually walk right into cards like Valorous Stance or Destroy Evil too, so it's still a terrific card regardless. Got 3 Cut Down in here, terrific removal that you guys are probably seeing everywhere. We got 2 Rotten Reunions, a 1 mana instant. Exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. So it does say up to 1, so you don't need to target anything to actually play this. You create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed, and then it has a flashback cost of 1 and a black. So not a bad card at all. It helps buff our Champion of the Perished. It helps get cards like Tenacious Underdog out of the opponent's grave. So yeah, I really like it. We got 1 Graf Reaver, so this is a 2 mana 3/3 with Exploit, and when it exploits a creature, destroy target Planeswalker. And of course, Exploit is when this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. This could be a great way to get rid of some of the opponent's Planeswalkers that might be causing us a problem. However, it does have a drawback here since it is a 2 mana 3/3. At the beginning of your upkeep, Graf Reaver deals 1 damage to you, so that's a reason why we only have 1 of them in here. I think we might want to consider going up to a couple of them, but we'll see. We'll talk more about it in the final thoughts maybe. Got a single Infernal Grasp because there's still a ton of creatures that Cut Down just doesn't hit. Now, I don't know if it's necessary in here. You could probably drop it and just go up the 4th Cut Down and still be pretty satisfied, especially with what's coming up in the build, but I don't know. I think having 1 as like an emergency is going to be fine. Got 3 Jadars. I've been playing this card more and more recently, but of course it works wonderfully in a zombie build. So 2 mana 1/1, legendary creature, that's why we only got 3 of them. At the beginning of your end step, if you control no creatures with Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. Nice, and of course, that works wonders with Champion of the Perished. We got 4 Tainted Adversaries, so 2 mana 2/3 with Death Touch, and that Death Touch is going to come in handy so often, guys. The Death Touch on this is incredible. So when it enters the battlefield, of course it has like this little adversary ability here where you can pay 2 and a black any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counters on Tainted Adversary, then create twice that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens with Decayed. Okay, nice. So again, helps buff the Champion of the Perished quite nicely, and like I said, that Death Touch is nasty on here. We got 2 Meathook Massacres because it's Meathook. I mean, let's be real, right? I don't think you want 3 of them in this particular build, but I mean, if you're a fan of Meathook, then maybe, I don't know. I think 2 will work just fine. In our 3-drop spots, we got 4 Fell Stingers. So this is a 3 mana, a 3/2 with Death Touch. Again, Death Touch, man. It does a thing right now in Standard. It really does. It has Exploit on here as well, and when it exploits a creature, target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. I know what you guys are thinking. That would work beautifully with a card like Sheoldred, right? So in our 4 mana spot, we do got a couple Sheoldreds, of course, even though it's not a zombie, right? The 4 mana 4/5 with Death Touch. A lot of Death Touch in this build. The Death Touch on Sheoldred is a little bit, it doesn't matter as much as the other cards, but still. When you draw a card, you gain 2 life. Whenever an opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. You guys are seeing this absolutely everywhere, and it works really well with Fellstinger, where if the opponent gets low enough, you have a Sheoldred on the board, you can target the opponent with the Fellstinger ability. They lose 2 life, then they draw the 2 cards. And then they lose 2 life for each card they drew off of Sheoldred. So yeah, that could really drain the opponent's life, huh? So we got 4 Headless Riders in here as well. There's not that many non-token zombies, but there's enough to make this worthwhile. So 3 mana, 3/1. When Headless Rider or another non-token zombie you control dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So what ends up happening is, because there's just so much removal right now and so many Meathook Massacres floating about, is this gives you a little bit of protection against all of that, where if your opponent does drop a Meathook Massacre and wipes your board with a Headless Rider or 2 on there, right, then you get a bunch of zombie tokens back, and they do not have Decayed. So very cool card. We got 3 Liliana of the Veils. Of course we got of course we have this, right? It just makes too much sense. So 3 mana, 3 loyalty, planeswalker, +1. Each player discards a card. -2, target player sacrifices a creature. That's what you're going to use most often when it first hits the board. Then we're not even going to talk about the -6 unless it comes up in a game. So we don't have a Tenacious Underdog in here to discard to that top ability. So I don't know how often we actually decide to just not use the ability. I'm pretty sure it's still pretty often that we use the top ability. We do have cards like Rotten Reunion to discard, which has the flashback, of course, then. Sometimes you discard cards like Cut Down because it's just not hitting anything on the opponent's board. Other times you're discarding extra land and stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to be great in here. Of course, I went over Sheoldred, and then on the very top end, a couple Invoke Despairs. So just packed full of some of the best cards in Standard right now. So 5 mana sorcery, you guys know it. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. If they can't, they lose 2 life, and you draw a card. Then repeat this process for an enchantment and a planeswalker. And as far as, so we've played mono black aggro decks in the past, and we decided that Invoke Despair was definitely worth it on the very top end of those aggro builds, and it's still going to be worth it here for sure. Somehow it only got better after rotation, so that's cool. You have 25 land in here, one of them being an Abandoned Mire. A couple honorable mentions too. Tenacious Underdog. Not a zombie, just a very, very powerful card, and it's something to think about. I wanted to bring up Toxic Abomination. It's kind of like a bad card, but I wanted to bring it up anyways. It's a new zombie from Dominaria, so 2 mana, 3/2, and when it enters, you lose 2 life. I think the fact that this is a zombie might make it worth it as a budget option, but I don't know. The 2 life is a lot just to get a 3/2 on the board, but it is a zombie too. I just wanted to bring it up over here. Archghoul, there's actually just not enough zombies in this build to make Archghoul worth it for me, right? Like, between the Cut Down, the Infernal Grasp, the Rotten Reunion, Meathook, Liliana, Sheoldred, Invoke Despair, and even Jadar is a human wizard that generates zombies. So let me go over it real quick, though. 3 mana, 3/2, and when it or another zombie you control dies, look at the top card of your library. If it's a zombie card, you may reveal it, put it into your hand. If you don't if you don't put a card into your hand, you may put it into your graveyard. So yeah, I don't think this one's going to be worth it in here. I think the 4 Fell Stingers and the 4 Headless Riders are much better. Then of course, Cruelty of Gix can help us find whatever the heck we want to find. It's a pretty solid card all around, and it helps us reanimate on the final stage there. So it's something to think about, but you don't want too many top-end cards for what this deck's doing, and you're going to want to be able to play multiple things on your turns often in a deck like this too. I mean, let's look at it this way too. You can think of Tainted Adversary sometimes as a 5-drop creature, right? And then there's going to be plenty of moments where you're going to want to play like a Jadar on the same turn that you drop like a Fellstinger or something, right? I don't know if Jadar is the best example there, but yeah, there's going to be plenty of turns where you're going to want to do 2 things. I think having another top end would slow us down a little bit too much here. Okay, guys, hopefully I didn't take too long to go over a simple build with a mono black shell with zombies mixed in the mix. So yeah, I don't know. Let's go ahead, hop into some ranked and see how we do. we'll see if we can get right into the first match here. So the ranks just recently reset, and I actually used this deck to quickly get up to gold, and I believe that took, I think it took 5 matches. So I did play the deck a little bit. You can consider those test matches if you want, but I wasn't testing the deck. I knew it was going to be all right because we have so many good cards in here. And we'll see the test matches up here after the match, of course. So I'm not a big fan of this hand, but we have 25 land total, and the early removal is telling me let's give it a shot, right? We can even run down Meathook as our turn 2 if we really wanted to. It could have been a mulligan. I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to find that land, though. What do they got over there? What is that? An island? Okay, we'll run down Champion of the Parish. That was a good draw, too. Yeah, plenty of 2 drops and plenty of 1 drops. Or 1 mana cards, I should say. They're gonna consider, okay. Okay, well, I hope we draw that land, because we're gonna have to go fast. They probably drop Island and pass, which is a shame. So I wonder if Headless Rider would even hit if we got that mana. And not gonna see the mana. I wonder if Meathook is worth getting a counter out of their hand. Start with a swing because they might just do something simple like a Fading Hope. I really doubt it. It's only 1 damage. Well, starting off strong. Let's go ahead X is 0 and get a counter out of their hand. Maybe it'll be a Make Disappear would be terrific to get out of their hand. Okay, a Negate. That works too because eventually our Liliana can hit maybe. We had the other Meathook too, so we're going to do this before combat, see if it hits. It's a good draw. You know, at least we're seeing like the 2 mana cards too. At least we're seeing stuff that we can play. It could be a lot worse. It's already pretty bad missing a couple turns of land, but okay, the terror hits, cut down doesn't do it. Oh my goodness, thank you game. We actually saw the land. Oh crap, does Spell Pierce hit? Okay, whew. Whew. I think Spell Pierce could have done it, right? I forget the exact text on Spell Pierce right now. So get rid of that terror. Maybe they'll just Fading Hope. Fading Hope their terror. Yeah, I think Spell Pierce is counter non-creature spell. Unless the controller pays 2. I think. I don't think it's just instants and sorceries or anything like that. I don't know why I'm forgetting. I've played around plenty of Spell Pierce in my day. Well, maybe not plenty, I guess. Actually surprised we don't see it more often right now. Huh. I can't tell if the opponent is thinking about just dropping a Fading Hope on their terror, or if they have some other means to get around this. I'm just glad we got the 3rd mana, guys. I always get a little scared whenever I keep a risky hand. Like, oh, is it gonna work out? It should, technically. Like, plenty of land in the build, but, you know, sometimes it doesn't. We still have a huge chance here to draw more land, which honestly I will welcome. I will welcome any land we draw now, because we have to play around Make Disappears and the such. So I doubt this is the only terror in their deck. I do know some of them only run 1, but what I've been running into more often than not are the mono blue decks that run like 3 terrors. 3 or 4 we really don't know because they usually don't get their 4th one, but you know. Okay, the opponent is thinking, and I don't know if we plus the Liliana. I guess we're gonna have to, that way we have the -2 ability available when it comes time, because once Liliana of the Veil hit the table, I'm trying to think how many options do they have in their deck to actually just get rid of Liliana? So I think we want that -2 available as much as possible here. Sheoldred, oh my. Oh my. Okay, well, I will probably ditch the Meathook. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's tough. I'm gonna start with the Headless Rider play, and then swing, and then I'll plus the Liliana. Based on what they do here, maybe it'll change my mind onto what I'm discarding. Because they could have that one flash blue creature, the fairy. I don't think mono blue plays that fairy often, but guys, I gotta be real with you. This might hit the table. This might actually land here. I do know one thing. Mono blue is usually very excited to get their counter spell on top of the stack. So, really? Wow, wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I'm just pleased that the hand didn't, that the hand that I kept didn't lose us the game. I'll take it, dude. I'll take it. So yeah, we played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches before the video, and like I said, I did these matches just to get up to gold real quick. I had a lot of confidence that this build would do a thing. We're at 66% now. That's pretty cool. I'm down. Let's get right into the next game. Whoop. Gotta collect my gold first, I guess. Now, I think the new Alchemy set comes out very soon. I think maybe even this week, right? I haven't heard too many people talking about Alchemy, but if you're interested in Alchemy, let me know in the comments. I'm technically interested a little bit, but I mean, I have been enjoying Standard as rough as it has been. I always enjoy rotations and trying to figure out a new format and stuff like that. Man, now I'm just afraid to keep the 2 land hands, but technically, guys, it's just, yeah, this should be keepable. Yeah, 100%. Like, it's actually really good going turn 1 Perished into turn 2 Jadar, so because we can start running away with Perished as soon as possible, but the sooner we get that 3rd land, the better. We might want to cut down this turn too. No, we're safe for a turn. We don't need that swing. Let's get the Jadar down. Just hold it back. It's an easy block for the opponent. Yeah, hopefully we see that land. Maybe we'll talk about going up to 26 land, huh? Now, I don't think you want 26 in here, but maybe, man. Because I don't think either of these hands were mulligans. There's a land, huh? Very cool. So the underdog's a terrific target. We don't want to swing in with the 3/3 Perished. We drop this, we swing with this, we get another zombie. It'll be a 4/4 Perished getting around a cut down. And I think we just do that. Right? Start with the swing. Because they don't know it's in hand. Block with curtains, but again, I don't know what mono black would have that would be like a combat trick there, but you never know if they just took the damage there, you know? 3/3 Perished and 4/4 Perished. Very cool. Okay. Cut down available next turn. And an X is 0 Meathook if we wanted to, but we know very well that Meathook is a good card to save for when the opponent runs away with a build, so. They hold back. They keep the 3. This is activate only as a sorcery, so there's something in their hand, most likely just some removal. Ooh, we can drop the Sheoldred this turn. But I think keeping cut down open first, because they're probably going to do some kind of shenanigans with blocking, right? So we keep cut down for that, or we just play it more safe and still play Sheoldred as soon as possible. Yeah, let's full swing. Here's why. Okay. We full swing. Because I do want to get Sheoldred down as soon as possible. But with the cut down, I feel like whatever removal they have now is just going to hit Sheoldred if we play that anyways. So they're going to go for the trade here. Crap, they are keeping the removal, I guess, in their hand. Do I want to save Headless Rider then? Taking 5, remove the Perished. We don't get a 2-2 back. I still want to play Sheoldred. I would rather the Perished die to the removal in their hand. Infernal Grasp, okay. And then we play the Sheoldred. So they don't take the damage, but we do get a 2-2. And we get another 2-2 from this trade. And we get the Sheoldred on the board. I feel like that's pretty good. I don't know though, losing both of our zombies there, those zombies could have done a lot. But I don't know. We knew that they kept this open for removal, and I didn't want that removal to hit the Sheoldred. Maybe. I don't know. It's an interesting play, to say the least, so we'll see. Trespasser. Cut down does not hit the Trespasser, unfortunately. Get to gobble up the zombies out of our grave. Champion of the Perished. Very cool. We have one open here. I think we can successfully swing with Sheoldred. We could probably swing with our 2-2s as well. With total power toughness 5 or less. I believe that would be... It's like actual toughness. Yeah, not if they take damage or anything. So... Let's... Full swing. See what they do, because we have Meathook for 2. And we could hit Trespasser that way. Okay. It does hit everything, guys. The Meathook for 2 does hit everything. But we lose Jadar then, too. I think that's fine. I don't know, man. I don't know. Meathook for 2, let's do it. Because getting rid of the Trespasser is huge. We lose a lot too, but we have Meathook, Sheoldred, they're down to 5. I don't know. Maybe I've been making too greedy of plays this game, but an Invoke Despair would be horrendous. We would lose Sheoldred, Meathook, and they would draw a card. So that would be very, very bad for us. They have 5. Liliana, yeah, that's a thing too. Okay, how are we gonna reestablish our board state here? I gotta be real with you guys. I don't think the Meathook was a bad play. Okay. Yeah, you know, our own Invoke Despair would be a really good draw now too, now that we have 5 land. Keep cut down open. But they're gonna make us... Oh no, they're gonna make us discard it, guys. No other options. We can't... It's not like we can hit like Bankbuster or something. So plus the Liliana first before playing anything. Because if you play something first... Oh, they got their Invoke Despair. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, we're losing everything. Oh no, we got them down so low though, we can easily top deck our own Invoke Despair and it'd be over. What a game, dude, what a game. Okay, I probably could have... Oh no, guys, oh that's so bad. Oh no. So again, I would plus the Liliana first, that way whatever's in our hand we discard. Because if you play like, and they can't really bring back Underdog because they're so low. So yeah, we're just kind of hoping. Nice, they had another Underdog. They can corrupt Bankbuster, swing for 4. They go for the draw though. I think that's smart because they can play the long game now that we officially have nothing. Meathook. I mean, no matter what, we play it now. And they have 1 swamp open. I might as well tap out here. X is 3. We might as well. And then it's kind of Yeah, like we play it now because they could just plus the Liliana. We would lose. No matter what we draw, we got to play it that turn. Or we should play it that turn, I should say. So they're so low that they need to take a lot of damage from the underdog. But if they find their own Sheoldred, ah man, I definitely played this one too greedy, huh? The way they're making a comeback right now. Fellstinger! Wait a minute, wait a minute. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. I'm way too happy right now. What a way to win the game, guys. What a way. I mean, I guess we had so many cards in our deck that could do a similar thing, right? I guess. We had the 4 Fellstingers. We had 2 Invoke Despairs. We had another Sheoldred as well. That could have potentially done a lot. Well, as soon as we played the Sheoldred, they would have taken 2. Then they would have made us sacrifice it to their Liliana. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I feel like there was a lot we could have drawn, but maybe not. Maybe the Fellstinger was one of the only things along with the Invoke Despair. Sweet. What a victory, guys. That was... We did so much damage early on there, and then all of a sudden I was sweating. That's fun, though. Alright, what you bringing to the table, opponent? Ooh, good hand. Let's go. Keep the Abandoned Mire as a channel ability in this particular build, unless we need that 4th mana. So we kept, yeah, for the video so far, we kept 2 different hands that started with 2 mana. And we were able to get there, but I feel like we got a little lucky, but also a little unlucky for not seeing the land right away at the beginning of that first one too, so... We'll see if we flood out this game. No. We actually could go Fellstinger too. Could always sacrifice itself to draw a couple, but I like the Graf Reaver here, guys. Because... So we do it before combat so we can swing. And then we can always sacrifice Graf Reaver later on down the road to the Fellstinger if we're thinking that it's doing too much damage. I think Graf Reaver is a little bit more aggressive right now too. Even though this is a 3-2, they might have more ways to block a 3-2 than a 3-3. And we might just not exploit Fellstinger. We might just play it out. Lifelink, ew. Oh my goodness, what a draw. Oh no, oh opponent, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. The big swing too. They do get to flip this next turn. Doesn't have haste though, so we're swinging. That Fellstinger can still do a thing, but again, we don't have to exploit. We can just play it on out, buff the Perished. Wedding Announcement, couple chump blockers. This is perfect for the opponent. Couple chump blockers is exactly what they... Oh my goodness, guys. What on earth is this grossness? I don't think we question this. I'm pretty sure we just Invoke Despair, get rid of their Wedding Announcement. They take 2, we full swing. We drew another Invoke Despair. Oh no. Oh no, opponent. I'm so sorry. Yeah, we had 5 going through no matter what there. Well, I guess, yeah, I'll take it. 75% total win rate for the build so far. How many were on video? 3? Yeah, 3 victories. Well, that's good. Ah, jeez. I can't, like, our draws there, guys. What was that? What was that? Is that what the other mono black players feel? They're just like, oh wow, look, another good card. Huh, how about that? Another hand with only 2 land, guys. Weird, but we know that it works and we go first here. So what's really good, I love the Rotten Reunion here. A lot of great stuff to hit out of graves, but the fact that it has the flashback means we can... Wow! Another perished. And we're gonna get some extra damage here, guys, especially since up to 1 card, submit 0. This has flashback. Like, seriously, dude, holy cow. Drawing that second perished was really good. 2 open. Tainted Adversary is a good draw. We would have liked to see land too, obviously, but Rotten Reunion. I think whatever we do is going to eat a counter, and I'd rather the Rotten Reunion eat the counter than the Adversary. So submit 0. We are going to full swing here. This is huge damage. Could be a Fateful Absence, hit the big perished. That could happen too. We don't know what type of control they're rocking too, so there could be a lot of different things, Fading Hopes and stuff like that packed in there. They're wondering, is this worth countering? Because it's probably not. Like, it's just a 2/2 that buffs the board state a little bit, and that's tough. That's super tough. Like, this is 9 damage on the board. Faithful Mending. Yeah, gain 2. Let's see what kind of control deck this is going to be. Destroy Evil, Sanctuary Warden, Faithful Mending. Interesting. Okay, we swing. 9 damage coming through, and potentially more next turn. We might have 11 damage coming through next turn if the Adversary hits the board, so they do have the Faithful Mending to gain 2 more off of, so they're not completely dead. Restoration. Welp. I guess they're... Did I math incorrectly, though? I might have. Tainted Adversary. Buff, buff, buff. 11 damage. Nice. Well, okay then. 77% total win rate for the build so far. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. Very nice. Very cool. We're only 32 minutes into the video. We'll see if we can end on some high notes here, huh? It really does feel like there's a good chunk of power in this build, and I would definitely consider ranking up with it. Obviously, since that's what I decided to do in silver rank. I know the climb from silver to gold isn't particularly difficult. You don't even need a 50% win rate. So yeah, but I still decided that there was enough power here to quickly make the climb. So, I mean, yeah, I like it so far. This is one of the worst hands of the evening. Not a lot of, like, there's not a lot going on, but Jadar with Fellstinger can help lead us into a lot more going on. I think having the 4 swamp early on is nice too. Oh my goodness, we are going to get ran over here. Oh, cut down. Okay, we'll keep that open. A good draw. Is that all we're capable of today? Are just good draws, man? Like, come on. A good hit. I would say taking care of this early on is a good hit. Leave the Phoenix Chick, that's fine. It's one in the air, but like it won't, like a 2/2 with haste is a lot worse, and I'd rather survive just that little bit longer, because that 2/2 would be swinging in this turn as well, and we knew that. We knew we didn't want to block with Jadar. So this one Adversary would have been doing 4 guaranteed, possibly more, with just no complete guarantees here. We'll take the 4 here. So yeah, cut down open with Stormseeker, but we had our turn too, so. Champion of the Perished is a little late. We are gonna go Fellstinger, sat this. You don't want to swing at that first. Fellstinger doesn't have flash or anything fancy. Fellstinger blocks the Stormseeker well, and we drew another Fellstinger, which I don't plan on blocking with Jadar, but we might need an emergency blocker. So I am going to keep Jadar back here. Taking the 2 off of the Fellstinger to draw is pretty rough, actually, because red can do some serious damage. If Raiju hits, then... Ooh, okay, it's just a Kamano. That's how you know Raiju is seriously dangerous, when you're like, oh, it's just a Kamano. Yeah, totally. Swing into the air, and they keep Stormseeker back, which is very smart. We got another Fellstinger. Game, we're taking too much damage with these Fellstingers. We need to find more of our removal. We have a couple Meathooks. 2 more cut downs. We have an Infernal Grasp, which is pretty bad too, because we're taking so much damage. Liliana only hits one of the Phoenix chicks from the sacrifice. We could draw more, guys. We could. Let's do it. I think we're getting to the point where we're kind of, because we could keep this. We're not going to be able to swing in that well. Whatever they play next turn is going to get a counter. Watch it be a 3rd Phoenix chick. That would be awful. Yeah, I think we're kind of dead here. Let's go all out. We're going to draw even more. Liliana champion. Okay. Keep Jadar back as an emergency block. Oh, we don't want to swing into Stormseeker anyways. I'm so used to mono red just having tapped creatures. 2nd Stormseeker. Nice. The double Fellstingers do a lot against both of those. But we're taking 4 in the air here. So if we can't find removal for their Phoenix chicks next turn, in other words, Meathook Massacre, then we're probably dead. Okay, Swamp. We play Swamp. Champion of the Perished. Honestly, Liliana, they're just going to discard their other Stormseeker here. Fellstinger can't draw us more this turn because we're only at 2. An Abandoned Mire costs 4 mana, and it only returns a creature or planeswalker, not an enchantment. So, I'm pretty sure this is the opponent's. Yeah, Phoenix chick. Wow, hey, I took out that Bloodthirsty Adversary early on, and it ended up being the double Phoenix chick that took us out here. Well, mixed with the Stormseekers, of course, too, which is very powerful. I mean, honestly, if we're going to lose to something, I'd prefer we lose to mono red, and I'm going to let them swing in, too. Like, I was thinking, let's do a fun way of going out, drop Fellstinger, target ourselves. But maybe, like, if we had another cut down, too, wow, yeah, we would be in this, huh? Especially if they get rid of a chick, and then, yeah, like, the second cut down would take out chick, and then they don't have it in the air. So, if I were the opponent, I would have gotten rid of the Stormseeker and kept both of the chicks in the air. But, never mind, they have 3 creatures. They can bring back the Phoenix chick. Nice. I hope they do that, actually, because you don't get to see the revived Phoenix chick very often. Oh, Devastator for 1. That might have been their last card, too. Hey, good game, opponent. It's honestly, it's great to see mono red doing good. It really is. Because we've been doing this whole YouTube thing for over a year now. Because I started with Midnight Hunt, and mono red hasn't really been a thing. Like, we kind of saw goblins do a thing here and there. But yeah, very good game, opponent. 70% total win rate for the build so far. Nice. And the more you play with this deck, it's probably going to balance itself down around the 60% mark. Somewhere around there is what I would assume. That's where most builds will land. Well, not most builds, I shouldn't say that. That's where most builds that you expect to be pretty good will land. And I suppose if we don't think zombies are the best way for mono black, then it might balance out around maybe a 55% after a bunch of matches. Either way, feels like there's a tremendous power level in the deck. Okay, good hand. Just zombies, though. Not a lot of removal again. Opponent goes first, so let's see it. Island, huh? This is going to be Mono Blue's revenge, potentially. Nope, Dimir. Keeps 2 open, and it doesn't matter. We try Tainted Adversary. I'd rather Adversary get countered. Oh! It could just be simple removal then. Infernal Grasp or a cut down still hits the perished. Tainted Indulgence. We might be safe for a turn here, guys. What we really want is to get Headless Rider down before the Meathook hits. What is happening? There's a forest. Oh, Reanimator. There's a Titan in the grave, guys. Nobody panic. Everything's fine. Reanimator probably doesn't have counter spells. Do this before combat. And it could still easily be like an Infernal Grasp. Nope, not this time round. Thirst for Discovery. I'm a little bit scared, guys. The second they're able to reanimate the Titan of Industry is probably the second we lose. Because Titan just does so much, right? They just gain 5 life from it if they're too low. And create a 4/4 if they need more blockers. So they probably need one more turn to reanimate. Gonna choose some removal this turn. Celestis. Keep Swamp open. Cut down the Rider. Swamp's open. They have 5 mana, so Titan is probably coming back next turn. They're at 13. We hit him for 2. The big problem here is I think our only option is to make sure that the Titans are out of the grave. I was thinking like, oh, Fell Stinger, target them, do an extra 2. We have 7, 8, 9 on the board then. Fell Stinger would make it 10. So we still wouldn't get enough, especially if this is just like more removal too. So yeah, we keep Fell Stinger back. We take both Titans out of the grave. I think that's like the best option. The Sheoldred is still there to haunt us a little bit, but is it just going to be a simple Infernal Grasp then? They want to hit Rider first. We still get our 2/2, but Infernal Grasp on the champion. We get our 2/2 back. We get a swing here. So yeah, if we did anything other than remove those Titans, it would have been too greedy. We wouldn't have gotten there. Simple Infernal Grasp, dude. Consuming Blob, dude, nice. Couple blockers. And the Meathook probably just is a nail in the coffin, huh? So a couple blockers. Let's go Swamp. Fellstinger can do 2 to them as well. So we're just full swinging here. This doesn't have lifelink or anything like it, so yep. Oh, 6 is getting through either way. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't just count real quick how many creatures we had versus how many they had. For some reason I thought, oh yeah, we got to use the Fellstinger to end the game, but no. Yeah, I like the opponent's deck though. Some Sultai, mid-range, most likely Reanimator. But the Rotten Reunion, man. Getting rid of those Titans was probably the best thing to do there. So we are actually 43 minutes into the video, and we ended on a high note here. So I think this was the last game, guys. We kind of wrecked face today, and I'm pretty satisfied with that because it's been a second. It's been a second since we've just had an incredible win rate with incredible games, with some incredible power in the build too. So I think ending there is a good. We're going to have some final thoughts here too. Here's the deck list again, guys. Okay, so what would I change? Not much, dude. I wouldn't touch this even a little bit until I played like 30 more games with it, until I decided like, oh yeah, we could drop down a couple of these and go up this, or the meta needs more of this, right? And I really don't know what that would be off of those matches because like, what was it? It was a 72% overall win rate, and 5 of those games were technically test matches that I did just to get to gold real quick. And I don't know how many of those matches were on video today, but there just felt like there was just a lot of power. Champion of the Perished was just a freaking awesome 1-drop, dude. We got to see it pair with Rotten Reunion very well. Cut down with sick removal. Did we see a single Infernal Grasp? I don't know if you still want to just go up the 4th cut down, because it will work. It will. But how often are you going to have to remove the opponent's Sheoldred with your 1 Infernal Grasp, you know? More often than not, if they do have the 1 Sheoldred, hopefully they don't have anything else, and you can have them sacrifice it off of Liliana, which happens to be a no-brainer, right? This was a powerful card in this build too. Headless Rider was sweet. We got to see it come into play in that last game, where getting that extra 2/2 zombie is still just enough to get that extra damage through, because at that point you're just doing so much damage to the opponent with all of your other zombies already that they're sweating, man. And once Headless Rider's down and they don't have great ways to remove everything, I don't know, Headless Rider seems pretty good. It does die to a lot, but once it does, you get a 2/2 back, unless the opponent has some kind of thing where, you know, your creatures get exiled and stuff, which does happen. It definitely does. Felstinger was awesome. We didn't get to see the combo today where we had Sheoldred and then we target the opponent's face with Felstinger, but that's still a thing to think about. Sheoldred is very, very powerful. Tainted Adversary was awesome. We didn't get to see it with its adversary cost, right? We played a lot of games. I don't believe we got to see this bring some decayed zombies with it, but it's there, and it doesn't have to be. Like, a 2/3 Death Touch zombie is just enough to play with. It really is. Jadar is awesome. I'm very pleased with this card lately. Just very, very pleased. Graf Reaver did a thing. It's a pretty aggressive card. It does hit your face often. I don't know if you want to go up to 2 of these. Invoke Despair was insane. Could you go up to 3? Yeah, I would. If there would be anything to change, since we didn't get to see the Grasp come into play, maybe, and this is just a maybe you drop Infernal Grasp to go up the 3rd Invoke Despair. Now, why is it just a maybe? The 25 land sometimes didn't feel like enough, and it should be enough. It totally should be. We do not have a lot of top-end cards here. Between the 2 Sheoldred and the 2 Invoke Despairs, just not a lot of stuff that needs 4 or 5 mana. Now, yeah, like Tainted Adversary's ability, and just being able to play more than one thing a turn. Meathook Massacre technically wants a good chunk of mana too, where you're going to be meat hooking for 1, 2, or 3 more often than not. So 25 land, would you go up to 26? Yeah, I wouldn't. If you don't see land with 25, then you're probably getting unlucky, especially like those matches where I only saw 2 for a little bit. But guess what? The deck was able to do it regardless. We have plenty of cards here on the front of the build that we can just play with 2 mana and we're fine. And like the Champion of the Perished, for example, and then the Rotten Reunion, that's actually just disgusting. Actually, this whole, all the 1-drops are actually just nasty pit together, right? Because we have Champion of the Perished to play, and then on a turn 2, if you play a second champion, you can keep open a cut down and a Rotten Reunion. And then if you don't cut anything down, you drop the Rotten Reunion, buff both of the Champion of the Perished. That might be another reason in and of itself to go up the 4th cut down and drop the Infernal Grasp. So yeah, I don't know. What would you guys change? Let me know in the comments. I really enjoyed this one. I think there is a ton of power, and I would easily say you can make the climb to Platinum at least. Now, the climb from Platinum to Diamond is a particularly difficult climb. Would this deck do it? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, more testing's required. We did absolutely... we had some pretty great victories there, and pretty solid victories, I would say. So, yeah, I think you could potentially make the climb. Maybe. If you're trying really hard to climb anyways, then you probably just want to play the other tried and true mono black builds, which lean towards just mono black mid-range. We kind of got to see today how the zombies make this aggressive, which was really cool. And so if you're trying to make the climb, then you probably just want to play tried and true mono black. But what's the fun in that? You know what I mean? When you get to have fun with some zombies instead. So yeah. Guys, if you made it this far into the video, y'all are champions, and I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.